You know what that is? Discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Fucking do this? Then do it. Do it 100% because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You gotta be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
It's Monday, December 8th of 2025, the day after the day that would live in infamy. You're watching or listening to The Coach's Show. I'm Coach Mike Bianca, and with me, as always, is my friend and co-host and coach of Red Legion, Ryan Gray. Our guest tonight is the team creator and captain of the newest professional paintball team in Major League Paintball, the Jungle Cats. Tonight, Mr. Joey Dipolito. Joey and the Cats battled their way through the semi-pro this past season, winning the series title in the professional spot vacated by the relegated Energy Elite. We'll talk to him about their season, the players, what it's like running a team in the Southeast, and of course, the goals and expectations he has for the 2026 season. Don't forget to like and share, as well as get your comments into the chat. I'd imagine it's going to be a lively one tonight. This is episode 96 of The Coach's Show. The Coach's Show is brought to you by our awesome sponsors, Maxed. Get your deals done now for 2026. Contact Charles ASAP at Max Sportswear and have your team looking fresh for next season. Get Maxed. BKI, the best knowledge in paintball, and for a reason. Sign up at bkipaintball.com today and start learning from the pros. And what a great Christmas gift for your aspiring paintball player in the house, right? And Thunder Valley Paintball, formerly Tiki's Paintball Park, the same great park, just a new brand. Not only a great park, but home to some of the best talent in Florida right now. So go check them out. I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. All right, Ryan, the chat's already popping. We're not even 2 minutes in, and here we go. So here we go. What is this? Is something wrong with my graphics, guys? Am I looking a little pixelated? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Joey
Well,
Konopinski, I tried. I told him before the show even started, bro, you are so pixelated.
Listen, everyone knows that I live out in the woods, right, in Alabama, and sometimes you don't get the best signal. That or my son's still on playing his Twitch game or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Some kind of shooter thing. And I can't watch. It makes me sick, so. Happens a lot,
Yes, Hondo 192 says you got a Temu camera. Yeah. So apologize for the way Mike looks tonight on cam, like because of the camera, not just normally because of the way he looks.
Well, yeah, I'm not exactly the most attractive guy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
So let's just move on, right? Crazy, wild off season. I've heard a lot of talk about whether or not it's the craziest. I don't necessarily think it is. It's just, we just have this huge middle shakeup, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of big stars kind of moving around. Just a big middle shakeup. It's been, really interesting as things have unfolded, talking to different coaches, trying to get real information. Because again, we don't work on rumors here. So I did get some real information to share. So Houston Heat, with new coach Chris Jansen, they have signed Louis Bedencourt, Cody Mikowski, Ryan Moorhead, Austin Buffton, Mishka, Andy Ramos Saldana. They're working on 2 more pickups. Both are really, really good. If they get them both, they will be a very talented roster. Kind of a big switch for them. They have moved from HK to GI.
Yeah, so that is a big move, actually. Another interesting fact about that's a fascinating roster. The depth on that is a good looking roster when you really piece it together.
Yeah, and I like the
Betancourt?
mix of youth and vets.
Yeah, I like it. I do. And I agree. Arguably more handsome when I'm blurred. I appreciate that, everyone who's that. Yeah, that's a great question. Where's Monville? Where's Monville?
Yeah, so Rody's Paintball says, where's Monville, though? I've heard, and again, it's all rumor. I've heard Sam may do a little coaching.
I think that's fantastic.
Yep. I don't know who, but that's kind of the rumor mill. Again, that's not fact. I want to be really clear about that. So,
no.
Yeah.
Cody we're going to talk about all of that, guys.
Yeah, super excited to hear about Cats playing for their first pro season. So are we, right? And we've been talking about Jungle Cats, I feel like, kind of all year long, in two different names, Bear Ridge and now the Jungle Cat. We'll get into kind of that name change and what occurred there. We'll talk about a little bit of the history of the team. Now we've had Joey on before. He's kind of run through some of this stuff. If you know all of these things, then obviously you can fast forward through this. If you're watching us on the record, if you're watching us live, unfortunately, you got to sit through it again.
I'm excited about this conversation, because we're going to get a lot of insight. A lot of people don't know this. This was the Jungle Cats, Bear Ridge, formerly Bear Ridge, and we'll get into that. This was their first season semi-pro. And a lot of people know that they had a season in D2 that they also won the series. So I can't wait to talk a lot about this, understand how this team was formed. There's a lot of history here, especially. So it's kind of like that Kevin Bacon thing, right? With me and Joey and some of these Jungle Cats. So it's going to be a fun discussion for sure. And it's always a great time having Joey, because let me tell you, he's one of the most opinionated guys I know. And he's also one of the funniest, if you get his sense of humor. So behave, be good. Shall we bring our guest in?
Bring him in.
All right, here we go. Adding to the stage, Joey Dipolito of the Jungle Cats. Are you guys going to have, are you going to put a city name before that? Will it be the Birmingham? Will it be the Augusta? Will it be the Atlanta?
I think it would have to be Atlanta. We talked about it a little bit this weekend, and Atlanta's the neutral spot. 5 of us are here, a couple of us are Bama, and a couple of us are Augusta. This is kind of our majority spot. Majority home.
All right. Well, we're going to give you the floor a little bit here. When did Bear Ridge, Jungle Cat? Actually, you know what? Jungle Cats is much older than Bear Ridge. So let's talk about the history of this, Joey. How did the Jungle Cats then become Bear Ridge, then come back to Jungle? How did all this happen?
Okay. Jungle Cats started along 2013. 2013. Most of us were on the Desolators and Augusta team prior to that. We played the MILP series, Southeast series. And when the team kind of parted ways, we all wanted to keep playing. We made the Jungle Cats, played AXBL, and like most paintball teams, we only went to World Cup because it was close to us, and all the other NXLs were too expensive. We played for probably until 2018 off and on, and then I think about that time, Bailey and Ronnie went to play with you. Most of the rest of us kind of fell back, stopped playing as much. I know I did. We did World Cup still, like every year, religiously, like most people. And that was until last year when we decided to give it a serious run. I won't say another run because we never played any NXLs. We just played the local series for fun. It's our friends. It was cheap. It's paintball. So last year we all got together, gave it a serious run in D2. When most of us were D3, we kind of wanted to play down, but we're also kind of old, so we needed to speed it up a little bit and see what we could do, just in case we got hurt. Okay, just give it your best shot. We did well last year. It rolled over to this year as BR Factory. As the year started and progressed, we were doing well. Funding kind of shifted, and as the end of the year approached, when we realized we had a chance to win the pro spot for real, it was either go ahead and change our name to something or go pro as BR Factory, and Bear Ridge just wasn't our main sponsor anymore, so we went ahead and changed the name to bring in more sponsors. It's kind of hard to bring in more field sponsors when we were tied to a field directly. And Bear Ridge is still a sponsor, but it's just not our primary sponsor anymore. So we had to make a little change.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Right.
So people may not know this, but this, let's see. So you won the D2 series as well, correct? You were
Yes.
second, third, and then you won World Cup. So I'd say, you took it pretty serious and it became successful. You guys decided, hey, maybe there's something to this. Let's give it a shot, see what happens in semi-pro. And then again, you were the only team that was consistently in the top 4 for this semi-pro season. I think you had a second, a first, a second, and a fifth. So top 5.
We were top 5. Cup was weird. We didn't do very well at Cup. We had some injuries and just didn't play our normal game. But it really sucks. I thought about it, but I was told not to dwell on it, to just move on. But it stings. It's like the last chance for you look at it, especially coming out of semi-pro when it's like you've done so well. It's like this could be your last chance to just go in and cap one off, like roll over on a hot streak, finish top 2, finish the season off where you were all year, and instead you just don't even make it to the finals. But
it's incredible how that story is very similar to another team I know. You were the only semi-pro team to be in the top 5 every event. And then you get the World Cup and you go.
So, you want to talk about curses that come with you and your players? Because last year we had the Prime curse, where we had Prime players wearing these Prime T-shirts, and every time they wore them, we didn't do well. And then when we got everyone to stop wearing their Prime stuff, we won. Now this year we pick up some Hurricane players, and then after we get 5th at Cup, they're like, "Oh, by the way, this is exactly how we won the pro spot. We got 5th at World Cup too." Like, man, y'all gotta tell me
a couple spots as well, like by a couple of points.
Well, what's funny is we won World Cup the year before, and then got 5th, right, and then won the spot. It's uncanny. But on a serious note, I do want to talk about that. So you guys practice out of. You practice out of Augusta Paintball, you practice out of Bear Ridge Paintball, and you practice out of Prime Paintball. So 2 fields in Georgia and 1 field in Alabama.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I do want to go through your semi-pro season a little bit, and Ryan, hop in here and
can we back up for 1 second?
Oh yeah.
So, Joey, as you started your story there, you said, hey, we made a decision this year we were going to give it a serious run. Why? What was the reason that like this year became kind of that aha moment for you guys where you said, all right, we're going to try, right? We're going to give it a serious run and see what happens. What was the catalyst for that?
The year before I will say was the year that I decided I wanted to try to like play for real, go to the NXLs. I had not met Bianca, but became closer like Bianca. We were at Prime a lot for like the 3-mans and practicing up there because it was really the only field that was open near a lot of us. So a lot of the Georgia players, there was no fields, and we drove to Prime. So we were up there a lot, and I feel like it gave me the itch. And then for me, I found a D3 squad. Well, I went to the Hurricanes tryouts, and Bianca told me no, that I couldn't play with them. I wasn't very good. He said to go play D3 and then try again later. So found a D3 team to play with. I got my buddy Ronnie to come back and play. We played D3 for most of the year before. And then the team we were playing with, it was like, we want to go play semi-pro, and we kind of weren't feeling it because, we didn't feel like we were there. It was like, why blow our apples up when we were D2 before? We just got dropped down. We were playing D4 too, so we could both go play D4 because our points were low enough, and both of us were D2 the years prior, so we were kind of having a lot of fun, and we didn't want to blow it by going to play semi-pro, getting some points that we didn't need, and not being able to play D4 and D3 anymore. So then the team kind of fell apart. We left at that point. They went and played semi-pro. I played one event with West Ward, one of our guys, with Crisis, and they were terrible. They were doing awful. They were getting like 21st out of like 20, like just doing bad. And we actually did pretty well. Like we went 2-2. We missed like Sunday by like 1 point. Like I was thankful because we would have went in last and played like PB Fit. That would have been terrible. But it made me feel like we could do it. I was like, if I had my friends, that I know are good at paintball, we could really like do something in this division. So I started reaching out to our friends. Bear Ridge had just opened up. Josh had just started the field, so we had somewhere closer to practice. So it was like I reached out to Josh, and he wanted to kind of have a team, do the field, bring in players. So it kind of was like a perfect storm at the time. It made everyone interested in playing paintball again.
So the stars just kind of aligned.
Yeah, it was good timing
Yeah.
because when I was in Chicago with Wes and Crisis, I had already talked to Josh a little bit, and I was like, man, like I think I paid like $1,000 to go to that tournament and get shot a lot, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this with people I don't know. Like I'd rather do it with my friends. So I reached out to Josh while we were in Chicago, and he was like, I'd like to help out. We could set this up with the field. As
Nice.
Bear Ridge, just not as the Jungle Cats at the time. So that's how that all fell into place. And
Cool.
by World Cup, we already had that was Chicago. So by World Cup, we already had an idea of what we wanted to do for D2. Most of us had already talked. Some of us played World Cup together that year in D3. And we just kind of already had it in our minds like we were going to play as soon as the off season started. We had tryouts December, right after World Cup. We already knew what we were doing. We were looking for a couple people, and it was just like now or never. Like the field's here. If we don't do it, then we're never going to do it. We're all like in our 30s, so it's like, why not?
No, I love that. And the reason I ask is because that's usually what happens, right? Like the stars just align, things work out the way that they're supposed to, and then this group gets together, and now we're here. So Go ahead.
Most
Mike.
of us all played on different teams, everywhere that we just didn't have money to play locally. So it's like some of us played on the Desolators, and it was mostly sponsored. And then some of like Aaron and some of the guys played on other teams, and it was like places we could get paid for at the time. So now it's like we're a little older. We have our finances in control, and we can do this,
Yeah, love it.
I gotta give some props where they're due, and a lot of people may not know this. And Joey, don't let this go to your head, but it really was your vision. It really was your drive, your roundling and rustling everything up and saying, "Hey, really want to do this, and we want to do it right." Right? You said when you say that's essentially what you're saying. We want to take a serious shot at this, and what you said was, "Hey." It's one thing to go do hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends, right? But then it's another say, hey,
don't ever say that again, Mike.
But I mean, that was kind of the vibe. Like he is right though.
So anyway,
because that was kind of the vibe of our team before. Like seriously, I kind of joke about it because I think the irony of like even when we talked about like World Cup ending the way it did. Think back at the beginning of the year or last year, this time when we were talking, like we were kind of joking about P-Mob because they had a crazy World Cup and we're like, man, they're probably going to suck this year. And the first event, I was like, they sucked. The end of the year, they beat us again. And I was like, damn, how did this happen? Like I started the year like joking about these guys and these guys made us the joke at the end of the year. But it's like, like it really was one of those things. Like we were kind of like a P-Mob team prior to the last 2 years. Like we were kind of just go hang out, like we'd all be chilling. We weren't really mad if anyone was drinking beer. It's like if you just wanted to come chill and drink beer and not play, we're cool with it. Like whatever you want to do. Like now the last 2 years.
So you shifted the culture.
Yes, the team has changed. Like I said, we spent some
shifted the
time around
culture.
people who could change our opinion and guide us in the right directions.
I'm literally getting text messages from people saying, please tell Mike, don't ever do that again.
Okay. I understand. All of you who know me know that it was that's not me, right?
Someone in the chat said
anyway,
Mike throws up the hood.
Let's stay focused. Yeah, let's stay focused now. Stay focused. Now,
I'm trying,
but I wanted to ask.
I'm doing hood rat shit with my friends.
It's like it's all blurry. He's got his hood on.
I did not say that. But anyway,
I know that's why it was so white.
Exactly. That was the point. Goodness gracious. Okay. So Joey comes on and the sense of humor goes, you ruined everything, Joey. All right. Now, on a serious note, though, so yeah, you changed the culture. That's what you meant by getting serious. You got in there, you got a bunch of like-minded people, your friends. You all got on the same page. You said, "Hey, let's take this serious. Let's get after it." And you put in the work, and look what that showed. I love it whenever we get an opportunity, when we get people on here and we talk about a shift in culture, and you see that success. So good on you, man. That's fantastic. I gotta love it.
It was easier with our friends. Once everyone got together and you have people who it's kind of like, I don't know. This year has went on, we've definitely got closer. Last year was a little, hard, but it is way easier when it's people because everyone's kind of like, well, I know you're not trying to like just do me wrong, or like if you're telling me something, if you're getting on to me for drinking, and if you're saying like don't smoke or whatever it is, you're meeting it from the right place. You're not just being an ass.
Right. It's because you care, right? And care. People don't understand whether you're a team captain, a coach, a player. If you don't care about the guys around you, I don't see any longevity. I just don't. And if somehow it happens, then that's an anomaly, in my opinion. So,
and you've got to have a singleness of purpose, right? Like when your purpose, when you all have the same purpose, everything does kind of fall into place, right? And it makes those conversations that are tough, right? When you have to tell somebody, hey, you can't be drinking at the events. You got to, let's focus on what we're here to do. If they have the same purpose as you, that's a pretty easy conversation. They're like, you know what, you're right. Right. And they just move right on. If somebody doesn't, then it creates drama and chaos. And that's where you end up with having a culture problem. But if you've got the same purpose, man, the culture just kind of falls together.
No, yeah. It really does. It makes it a lot easier. And then, like I said, even this year, like some of us have talked about it, as the years went on, you see everyone kind of gets closer and closer and holds each other more accountable to little things like that. So,
yeah, I've been to those practices. I've seen it. So, but let's talk about this season, right? Let's talk about, so a second at Tampa, beating teams like Preferred Mob and LA Collision. You ended up losing to TPP Crew, I believe. Second in Atlantic City, beating teams like New York Wrecking Crew and New Jersey Jesters, but then you lost to Preferred Mob, right?
They were insane that event.
The Midwest Open.
So good.
It was. They were on fire. You win the Midwest Open, beating teams like Collision again and Shock. And then finally, the Jesters in the finals. You take second for the third time this season at Lone Star, beating Preferred Mob and Wildside Distortion. But you lose to Collision in the finals. And then finally you take fifth at World Cup after taking the first seed in the champions bracket over Jesters, Distortion, and Collision, and losing to Preferred Mob in the quarters. So, I mean, what a season, right? I mean, that is consistency. Again, you were the only team this season that was in the top four every event. No other team was in the top four every event, or even four events. So I think that's
they
impressive.
Were fifth at World Cup.
Yeah.
Right. I meant fifth. That's right. So even then, so you were the only team who were in the top five every event. I bet you my math still holds up. If we were to go back and see, I bet you the second place team, the third place team.
I think Distortion might have got fifth every event.
Third, fifth, fourth, eighth.
Oh, okay.
Eighth. There we go. So it stands.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah. Yeah.
So it stands. I'm glad that stands.
Okay. I mean, it was a good year. It's like, it really does. Like, not doing well at Cup leaves like a little stain on it, I think. But it was a really good year. Now that it's kind of passed, I think you could look back on it. We can look back on it and be like, well, we really did do something cool, And it was like transitioning out of D2 straight into semi-pro. We thought we'd have, even though everyone was like the division's not as good in a way, like some of the teams are really good, and it showed because different teams won every event. It's like no teams were just that good all year long. Like, we stayed up there, but it's also, we didn't win every event,
Right.
But I mean, it is cool. It is good to look back on and show that we did put in the right work. We fixed little things that we were bad at last year, and we got better at things we were good at, and it paid off.
I love how you said that. We fixed things we were bad at, and we got better at things we were good at. That's fantastic. Everyone listen to that. That's a great message. It's fantastic. How did you do that? Did you any type of process?
We kept our process almost the same. Honestly, it's pretty much the exact same. We added things at the end of last year, like we talked about throughout the year. Paint management. It's like sometimes last year we were having paint, we had it on an ice cooler. It would either be too cold, it would be too bouncy, and we got way better with how we tested paint. We ordered one of those refrigerator units to like a giant refrigerator cooler to keep our hopper paint in. We started doing kind of like how Fit does, running it through like Hydra bags, like getting a lot better with how we ran our pits, taking care of our paint more. We got our staff mostly came over from last year. All of our pit that, friends that travel and help us, Willie, Cam, Kaylee, Alex, Freeman. We had Rod from Prime that came with us, and having people that knew what to do, it was just already, we had a system in place. So it made it easier on us as players to focus on little things where it's like, okay, we all need to go test the paint in our guns and make sure it's all boring similar. Our guns are shooting it. When we're at practice, we have people there to help out with the timing of things, keeping score, recording. So it's like now we're just having to practice, make sure we're on schedule, do the things we need to do. We had I can't forget him because he helped us the most. Nick Nemeth, he's in here. He came and ran pods for us, and it's like that's the hardest thing you could find somebody to do. We probably came up with like 100 extra pods every event, and it's like normally you're losing pods and you're just struggling, but we had a lot of help, and it just made it easier to get better at things. And then you get feedback from everybody where it's like, hey, this event, this wasn't going smoothly, and then it's like you fix it. And if your pit crew says, hey, this person was in the way, or this is in the way, it wasn't smooth coming out, hey, you were yelling too much, you need to not yell at everybody because you pissed us off and then we didn't want to fill pods, whatever it is. Like you get feedback from everybody, and then the system just gets better and better.
It takes a village, and I think it's impressive. It's those little things that a lot of people don't think about. And I've written about this a lot. And Ryan and I have talked about this a lot on the show. Having those types of things, having a clean pit ballet, a choreograph, an understanding of who does what, when, why, it gives the team freedom to focus on the match and focus and put their priority and focus where it needs to be, which is playing the game. And if you sit there and you don't take that sort of thing serious, well, you're already behind. So good deal. And Nick Nemeth says they will win the pod war. I love it.
There's no pod war in pros. Just pick up your pods on your side. The other team will pick up their pods on their side.
I told him to hit the first corner every time he comes out, no matter whose side it is. Like
I would not start doing that in the pro league. Because you'll end up with 10. You'll end up literally with teams with 10 pit guys on the field picking up all your pods.
Did y'all see that at Cup? There was a pod war like that at Cup on one of the like divisional matches. Their pod guy was stealing the other team's pods, and they were sending like 3 or 4 people off, and they were chasing them off. Like it was great.
I did hear about it.
Great. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't hear about that one. I read something about it, but I didn't hear what happened.
Yeah. So every semi-pro team that got the bye lost in quarters at Cup, which was interesting.
And only one pro team that got the bye made it out.
That's right.
Yeah, what do y'all think about that?
And that's last year. 0 pro teams that got the bye made it out.
Right.
I feel like it was a different pace of play for all of our games compared to when we came to, our semifinals matches. They were playing a totally different tempo than we were. Our games are all kind of not, I won't say fast because they weren't high scoring, but like 5 points, 6 points. And then when we were watching other games back, they were like 3, 4 long points. Everyone was kind of slow, and it was definitely a shocker. It wasn't what we were used to.
Like, I got you.
I love data, right? Yeah. Like to me, numbers don't lie. When you go onto the field and play a tournament, every point you get to play on the tournament is an experience, right? And every point you go out, you learn something, right? And you come back in, we take that data, we get better, especially our group. I feel like we, as the tournament goes on, we get more and more dangerous as the event unfolds, right? The more opportunity our guys get to see things and we get to make changes and put things together, you get 40% less time on the field than the first team that you play on Sunday.
Oh yeah, because you only play 3 games too.
Right.
So it's like
and they've gotten to play.
Yeah.
They've gotten to play one additional game through the preliminary rounds and one additional game on Sunday morning. So they have 40% more time than you do.
One thing I think helped us last year that we couldn't do this year because the way they changed the schedule up was last year we went and practiced at Legacy on Saturday, and we had an hour practice slot with our D3 team at the time, Cleveland Chaos, which was our D2 team this year, and they were in the Champions round too. So we went over there and did breakout drills for an hour on Saturday just to keep ourselves warmed up and get that extra time in, and it helped us out a lot. But this year they changed it up with the scheduling, so we played 2 Friday, 1 Saturday, and then we're sitting around all day Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of it.
Our schedule doesn't work that way. You know, we played Friday, then Saturday. But again, the reality is you're still playing 40% less paintball on the field than the team you play first on Sunday morning. I mean, I do think that it creates a different, like, we've got to train better around it. Does that make sense? Like, we just have to take better advantage of the training going in. And, you know, we obviously plan to be in one of those top 4 spots, 3 spots every year. If you're going to be in those spots, you got to figure out a way to make it work. Paintball Fit made it work.
Yep.
They made it work. So
that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's one of the things that you're going to be facing. And I want to get into a discussion about that here in a minute. But first, let's talk a little bit about your roster, right? I'm obviously familiar with your players, but let's introduce some of them to our audience. I see 3 former Hurricanes here. Justin Bailey,
a few of those guys.
Aaron Pate, and Britt Simpson. Britt Simpson's come out of retirement and has come back. So how did those 3 end up there? I'm curious.
Bailey was one of our original Jungle Cats from their 2013 or 2014, I think, when we first started playing events. He was local. You know, he played with CEP and the Canes when they went, or Canes when they were pro. We tried to get him last year to come back, but he stuck around at the beginning of this year. He decided to come back. I tried for Pate. He wanted to stay with the Canes at the beginning of the year, so we kind of left it at that. As the year progressed, we were still talking. Some of us were like doing guerrilla warfare, sending him like pictures of us at the events, like having fun and on the podium and, you know, little things. I mean, like,
Well,
you
he
could
had
have this
also
with
moved
fun.
to Georgia, though, didn't he? He'd
Yeah,
already moved.
but you know, I think it was the marketing we did. You know,
Is that what it was?
Yeah. We told him that we like to drink a lot of chocolate milk and we eat ice
that'll
cream
do
at the house, and you know, he could do all the fun things.
Sweet
And
tea.
eventually, you know, that was as much sweet tea as you wanted.
That's right.
So we eventually, I guess midway through the year, we talked, and he said that he was interested in leaving the Canes. So we got him. Unfortunately, that was right before Dallas. And in Dallas, he breaks his ankle in the last game of our prelims, like the very last point of our prelims, in like a low spot with some pain in it, and like a freak accident, snaps his ankle. So he only plays the prelims in Dallas. Going into Cup, Britt had came out to Prime one weekend. He was staying at your house. Y'all came out and practiced with us. It was a good weekend. You know, we had a lot of fun. We tried to get him to go ahead and, you know, come back to paintball because he said he was interested in it, but he was going to the Hurricanes the next weekend. That was his plan going into Cup. And then right before Cup, he reached out and said, I got hurt right before Cup. Pate was still hurt. He reached out. He said he was interested in playing Cup if we would take him, that he wanted to, you know, play with the team. So we were like, yeah, you know, come on in. The layout seems to be playing a little quick and we could use a little more speed. So we picked up Britt right before Cup, and he plans on playing next year with us. So we'll have him.
Fantastic.
And I mean, it was good timing, you know, for us, thankfully.
Absolutely. It sounds like it. I also know that Mike McGowan plays with you, former Ironman player, as well as Damage, DMG, PC Katana.
Yep.
So, and he owns Prime Paintball, right, in Leeds, Alabama.
That's where we do all of our layout practices.
I love it. I love it. So you got Wes Ward, right? I believe Wes, a lot of people might remember Wes from a thing called the Artifact series, I believe, when he was trying out for X Factor and Aftershock. Ronnie Tyner, Davis Stevens. You got Aaron Rios.
Where does Davis Stevens live?
I can't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't have his phone number. He doesn't have social media. I said
What's
it
his
last
phone
year
number?
too. We talked about it last year. I was like, man, I got this kid from the field who's just out there and he's hungry and we're gonna pick him
Davis
up.
Stevens.
No,
Yeah.
he's really good, man. That
Davis
kid
is
awesome.
good.
The kid can play.
He's
Yeah,
tall.
he
He's
pushed
quick.
everybody. He made it. I
smart.
really do think he is a big part of us doing so well this year. Like I was about to go
He was.
back to it because he's always out of the field. Like he's at the field an extra day. You know, he's drilling. Like he's always there. Anytime you
How
want
old is
to
he?
go.
This is real. Like
Really,
just
he's like
so the
25.
fans.
Like
Yeah,
like,
he's young.
He's young. You know, like he really is. He was hungry all last year. He put in the
He's
work. And,
coachable.
I told him, I gave him the option at our tryouts of playing with us or D2 because I was like, it might be hard to get playing time, but I was like, I don't think it's going to be hard. Like, I really do think you'll get a lot of spins. And he chose us, thankfully. And it's like he started, you know, it's like you started almost every event. Like, and the kid played phenomenal. Like, even at World Cup, it wasn't a good tournament for us, but the kid played great. Like,
Yeah.
It makes everyone get better when you got somebody like that around. Like,
I like him a lot.
I bet.
I like him
No,
a
I
lot.
already know. Trust me.
He's
We
solid.
got to hang on to him as long as
let's-
we can, but
Yeah.
So then let's see. We said Aaron Rios, Blaine Povolitis, and Josh Mulligan, right?
yeah, Milligan.
Milligan. I said Mulligan.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Josh knows why I call him that, though.
Well, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Um,
Skinny.
So let's talk about that, though.
Well-
Any changes, any additions?
Right now, we're gonna have tryouts January 10th and 11th in Augusta at Augusta Paintball. We're trying to bring in another attacker. We'd like to have a little bit more speed, just because you can't go wrong with that. And we'd probably take another back guy in, just to go ahead and give us a little like more depth and have players that can, just in case we get injured, because we did deal with injuries this year. And like I said, we are getting older, so you don't really know what's in store. Like fall down the stairs, not be able
30
to get
years
back
old,
up for
calling it old.
35.
Justin Bailey says he thought he was brought in for the
I
speed.
did.
Yeah, Justin,
Yeah.
it wasn't. No.
Dude, that's our snake one. He just doesn't want to do it all the time. It's like when
Yeah.
we're at prime, he'll play the snake one because the grass is soft. And then as soon as we get to a field where it's like a little bit of dirt or it's unlevel, he's like, no, we got to get somebody else in there.
Yeah.
You
Justin
guys really do have
Justin
bad
is-
choices.
But Justin really
Hang on,
is
Ryan.
he's the right kind of slow, right? Like he's like, as the guy shooting at the snake, he's like, nobody's going. So he moves to the next shot.
And then he's in.
And then Bailey goes under. Yeah.
He's the change up. That's what I call him, right?
That's right.
But I was gonna say, Joey, you guys have terrible choice in snake ones because some like Bailey, and in some practices, I played the one for you guys in the snake. and
Yeah,
it's
we
just a
did make him
terrible
do
way.
that a couple times. I mean, you know, no one wants to play the snake. I swear. We were just talking about it on the pre-show. I was at CFOA this weekend and I was trying to recruit some people to come to the tryouts. I'm like, you know, like it's pro. Like this is awesome. Like we're all your friends. Like it'll be a good time. And everyone's like, I don't know about playing the snake. You know, like I'd rather play D3 and not play the snake. I'm like, damn, okay. Like the snake is a deal breaker for a lot of people.
No,
I do think
don't
it
know.
takes a special kind of attitude to be a snake player. Like
No,
you
it's
kind of
hard.
do
Does.
have to be, well, it's not just like mentally hard, but it's physically hard on your body. It's like, you
You're
know,
putting in the grunt work.
totally. But if you look at the guys who are elite at it, they've all been doing it a really long time. They've been like Billy Bernaccia, I think, is in like year 45 of his professional career, and he just continues to abuse his body over and over and over again. Like it takes somebody who has kind of a unique fortitude, both physically and mentally, to be able to do it, right? And anybody who says like I don't want to go to the snake right away, you know, you can't send them.
Yeah,
because they're gonna
I
have
say
to
it all the time. I don't want to go to the snake, and then I end up in the snake. I come back in the pits, and I'm like, y'all are wrong for making me do that. Like, y'all
Yeah,
are
don't
wrong.
die. Yeah, don't die.
I don't
not
dive. You know, like, Oh man. Yeah, it's really like it is a hard spot to play. It's a lot of like grunt work. You're crawling, you're running, you're diving, you're throwing yourself around. Like I mean the pro field was sand
You're
by like
trading.
what midway. Yeah, you're getting dunked on.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
but like I was saying, the pro field was sand after like what half a day, at cup. So it's like you're not only doing that, you're doing it through like sand and not like ideal conditions. We get kind of spoiled because Prime's grass is so nice where it's like you can literally just glide across it and then you go to the events and you're like, oh man, I'm tired. That was a long crawl, like it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all
That's
know
true.
you were at a turf field for a long time and you're in Florida now. So it's like or y'all are at Tiki's. So it's mostly sand, right? Like it's grass, but it's sand underneath. So it doesn't slide. Like,
No, you stick. It's sticky.
yeah.
Yeah. But we have a turf, like we now have a turf training facility, we built a whole
With the
bubble and
dome.
everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
A lot. A lot. But like if you consider what we spend on paint, I mean, we shoot 35 cases of
No,
paint.
I said
a
that.
week.
If you look at it now, you get reball. You don't have to buy paint anymore. It's going to pay itself off in, some amount of time. It's just a matter of when that is.
A year.
Yeah.
A
Dang.
year.
I mean, so that's not that big of an investment then.
No, it's a year.
That's super.
Yeah, but I would much rather play on grass than turf. A lot more injuries come with turf. Like I know there's like a lot of people want to play on turf, but so many more, especially like tendons, joints. You get so many more injuries playing on turf. And a lot of times then you go out to the field to a field that doesn't have turf and you play on grass and then you get injured because you're used to diving and sliding around on turf and the uneasy ground jacks you up.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah. It's way different. It's like, and we play on turf some too. Bear Ridge is turf. And it's just like when everyone says they want turf, I ask them if they've played on turf before because it's not as cool like as you think it is. It hurts.
Yeah.
I used to try to get last year when Blanco was with the Canes. I'd ask him every event, like, your guys are older. You want to come play on the soft grass and not play on the turf. It's like longevity here.
Now, good turf is different, right? But what happens with paintball is it's good for like a year, and then it's never good again.
It starts soaking up the oil and gets hard, and it's just a beating. If no one's going to change it all the time. Like, no one's going to replace their turf that often.
Yeah. No. It's tough.
So let's talk about your coaching staff. I think you guys had a unique situation this past year. How is that? How has it worked out? I mean, because I saw that Aaron Pate was your coach because of the broken ankle at World Cup. What was it prior to that?
So Pate was rostered as our coach because of the broken ankle. We took him off the roster throughout the whole year. Up into the events, I do most of the coaching at the practice and stuff. We have Josh Milligan. Josh Milligan does a good bit of it. And then when we get to the events, I do the captain part of it. And I'll play. Josh runs the pits and calls the lines and does the coaching part at the events. And that's been it. And we have Rod, who helps us out a lot. He comes and scouts us and other teams. So he'll come back and tell us, like, hey, we're not performing here, this guy's not doing that, or they're doing this and we can capitalize on it. So we have a little bit of a system. And we had Freeman, who was on the show with me last year, who helped out. He was kind of scouting all year too and kind of like pit management. But we had people that were helping with that stuff to bring us feedback. So it wasn't as much of like last year, it was me pretty much all year until Cup. And then we started this kind of system. We had a little bit more help. We started having people who could scout and bring us the intel that we needed. So then it's not as hard to be a player coach, because last year player coaching, I just sit myself a good bit to make sure that we were doing the right things and we weren't messing up. We weren't missing anything that they were doing that we could take advantage of. So when we had this system with a little more help, experienced scouts that could tell us things that would, ultimately help us, then it was a little bit easier to, transition into this year where we were player coaching all year amongst players. And we talked about this last year when Bailey came in. That's a huge help. Like, Bailey's a really smart paintball player. Yep. So Mikey is a really smart paintball player. So it's like you also at any point in time, there's 2 or 3 guys that aren't on the field that are in the pits that are really smart paintball players. So we have, a couple minds. They give feedback. Everyone's watching. We try to keep the same like buddy system that we talked about last year, where it's watch the guy that's in your spot or watch the guy that's playing y'all's spot to give your friend feedback, your buddy. And it made it a lot easier, Like it really is. I don't think people know how hard it is to do it player coaching because people don't do it.
Right.
But it's like, and
You know
then
why?
because it's like hard.
Because it doesn't really work.
I was about to say,
It
and then
doesn't
it's like,
translate.
yeah, managing it adds in like a whole nother factor because like thankfully Wes helps out a lot where it's like Airbnbs and stuff. We could just find an Airbnb, Wes will book it. But it's like if you had to add in managing Airbnbs too, along with scheduling our practices, and doing all these other things, it's like, man, this would have been a 1-year show. Like we were joking before the show. Someone told me I needed to wear a hat, and I was like, I really have just been balding all year from running the team. Like it's like next year it's going to be over with. Like this is what you have to sacrifice to go pro. For everybody out there, if you look at our team, everybody but Bailey and Milligan, we're going bald. So just think about that when you're like, hey, I want to be pro one day. You're not going to have any hair.
Yeah, I love it. No, yeah, that's true. It does age you very, very quickly, right?
It's
and if
stressful.
you don't lose your hair, you get it changes colors.
Yeah.
Falls out in colors.
Yeah, no. Joey Konopinski says, "Look at Ryan. You're speaking to the choir. I'm the preacher, sir. This thing is.
He's not the choir. He's out front.
It's shiny, pal.
That's right.
It's shiny. But my wife likes it, and that's all that matters.
That's true.
No, yeah.
As long as she never mind.
So,
never mind.
So let's get serious here for a minute. Let's get serious. Joey, I'm going to ask you a tough question. What is a jungle cat, and is it indigenous to the southeastern United States?
I knew this was going to come up. There's a lot of people in here. If you ask the people in the chat what their thought is when you hear jungle cat, I bet nobody says indigenous Asian swamp cat.
Exactly, because that's what it is, and that's
because
the definition
everyone
I sent
doesn't
you.
know that. Everyone would think the same thing we did. They're gonna think
it's in portions of
alpha
Asia,
predator,
Middle East, and North Africa, and it's kind of a little small thing, like a
first thing in the chat, tiger.
You would be wrong, simple one. You would be wrong. It is a swamp cat, a reed cat. So anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest. But no, on a serious note, let's talk about the jungle cats. Let's talk about we've talked about the roster. We've talked about your road to it. You've obviously shown the grit and the gumption necessary, right, to do what's necessary to improve yourselves. It sounds like, based off what you were just saying, you're making adjustments. When you find something that can be improved, you try to fix it. When you find something over here that needs to be worked on, you work on it. What are we working on and preparing for what is obviously going to be a much bigger jump from D2 to semi-pro to be prepared for the pro division next year? What kind of goals? What's your expectations? What can we expect from the Jungle Cats?
So I think that's one thing that helped us out is most of our guys are past the ego stage of paintball. Like we're all a little older and we listen and we adapt well with information that we're given, or we take critique. It's like if you're going to tell us that we're doing something wrong or you think that we could fix something, like we had you and Kyle Berry out one weekend with Britt. And it's like, we'll take the time. We want to hear what we're doing right and wrong. Like don't tell us what we're doing right, actually, a lot of times. Like you've been there. I really don't want to hear the compliment side. Like just tell us what we're doing wrong so we can start fixing things. Like
this is my kind of guy right here.
Dude, you'd love it. You'd love these practices, Ryan.
It just doesn't. The last time y'all were out there, our guys kind of started off yelling at each other the very first point because one of our guys shot another guy. That guy then proceeds to just shoot him anyway and then be like, you're out too. So as soon as they start yelling, Bianca's like, so this is how y'all practice? I'm like, no, actually it's not. Like I yell at all the guys, and then the whole rest of the weekend goes smooth, like perfectly smooth. But it's like, just we're not gonna do everything right, but it's like we do listen where it's like, hey, this isn't the way it's supposed to go. You can't argue with your players at practice. You can't argue with your friends all day. It's like, all right, cool, cut it out, you know?
Right.
And I think that helped us a lot this year. And going into next year, it's like we're open to advice. We want to bring people out that can help us. We try to bring experienced players out as much as we can. We try to bring you out as much as we can. You know, as much help as we can get, we'll take it. Like I said, we just decided to give this a shot last year. None of us had really gave NXLs a shot. It was my first time playing a full NXL season last year, as long as probably most of the guys. You know, so it's like we knew we were behind in a lot of ways. And even like we were just talking about with the paint and stuff, we're just trying to fix what we can. It's like if we already had a decent system in place, now we have a better system in place. Every time someone gives us something, like you and Kyle gave us some great tips. Kyle Berry gave us some really great ideas on some codes that we were lacking on. And for us, we immediately were like, hey, we got to add this in. You know, it was weird timing because it was in the middle of the year, but we knew like, hey, going into next year, we have to use these codes or we're going to get like crushed, you know,
They
like
give you those box calls.
it was that and like different color codes where it was like,
Yep.
hey, instead of telling people like this guy's trying to move, you know, like let's just go ahead and add another name to that. And like we were doing it in a sense, but we were doing it to like, hey, if you hear this, then this means you're switching right then, you know. And it's like Bianca's told us things like that before, but it's like we just didn't. Now we're at the point where it's like, hey, you know, like if we add this in right now, like we're really gonna beat the crap out of some people. But it was like hard to add in other things like that. But that's one of the things we're working on in the off season, adding some more codes. You know, we practice still only against our D2 guys, and they're great, like Cleveland Chaos guys. And while we were talking about player coaching, Tad's in here. Tad player coaches that team, and they've been a winning team for their existence, and it's really hard. So shout out to them too, because they help us more than anyone would know. Like we haven't traveled for 2 years. We traveled one time. We traveled to the Hurricanes. And other than that, we practice with our under team and they give us all the looks we need, you know? So, you know, going into this year, we're just trying to change little things at practice. We're trying to add a couple more players so we can practice against ourselves a little bit more, you know, up the ante a little bit, make it a little harder. And just get a little stricter on the small stuff. Like I actually don't think, like we talked about this because you said it after Cup, like you've helped out a lot. So I reached out to say thank you because even for me, it's like I didn't see this a couple years ago. You know, like I just wanted to play paintball, and Bianca was one of the people that was like, you know, you're pretty good at this. You should actually try instead of just coming out here and trying to play at practice all the time. So it's, you know, I was thankful. Like I didn't see this happening. And he was like, well, now the hard work begins. And it's like, I do agree, but it's like we've been working hard both years with this goal in mind. So it's like, it's not really going to get drastically harder. We just need to get stricter on ourselves and we need to get better with the process, fix the things that we can fix.
Like, efficiency, right? Efficiency in the communication in the code system, efficiency at practice, right? So all that's fantastic, Joey. Wow. It sounds like the attitude and the aptitude that you guys are bringing is exactly what is necessary. It's one of the many steps and variables that are necessary to be successful at that level. Ryan, would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you were going to try to add a couple of guys to the roster. Are you adding staff?
That's hard to say because we don't have money. If anybody's out there and you want to come help us in the pits for free and you'll have a really good time because we'll pay for you to stay out there, I guess, but you have to cover your own travel. We'll pay for your food as much as we can. We need help, but we don't need we do have really good staff. Willie and Cam are going to have a baby that might, you know, hurt us. We might lose them or the baby, you know, it's been around 2 greatest pod fillers and pit staff there is. So it might come out ready to help us in the pits, you know, like we might be able to come out with Tampa with 3 instead of 2. But
I really meant, are you gonna add a head coach? You can't play a coach in the pro league,
man. I was gonna avoid that. I've been talking to some.
I know you
coaches.
guys both
Not
are
really.
just swimming all around it, try not to touch it like it's a jellyfish. It's
There's a
fine.
coach we want, I'll
It's
say,
cool.
and we're not willing to settle for another coach. So I'm either gonna player coach with Josh again this year, or we're gonna get a coach that's not coaching right now, and then we'll have a coach. But right now, it's up in the wind.
Yeah, that coach would definitely want to add staff.
Yeah, that coach is playing hard to get, and he sent me like a list of requirements. I don't know if we could fulfill them. We're trying.
Yeah. Salt Life Crew AZ, that's gonna happen.
That is going to happen, yes.
Yeah.
So he asked if need to get Hinman and Collision on. I think after speaking with Joey and the crew, it'd be important to talk to Hinman and Collision, who are now another professional team.
We're gonna have them all on.
Yeah,
So
and we're gonna have Distortion on as well.
So this so we did pro last week, we're doing semi-pro this week, we're doing WNXL next week, and then immediately following we're going to have John Brinkman on from the New Orleans Hurricanes, talk about kind of what their new structure looks like. As soon as we're done with that, we're going to have LA Collision, we're going to have Wildside Distortion on. So that just so you guys know, that's like the next 8 weeks of shows.
When y'all do the Hurricanes guy, see if you could do it and have him do a walkthrough. I want to see what that place looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be up to him whether or not obviously John wants to do that. And it might be weird to do on the show. But maybe
if you spend that much money on a paintball training place, he's probably got Wi-Fi all across it. I mean, it'll work out.
He does. No, he does. He does for sure.
I want to know what it looks like out there. I saw the field. It looks nice. It looks great.
I was talking to Gerald Garcia today, who's coaching the playing for and kind of coaching the semi-pro team and helping put it together. Like he said, it's absolutely amazing. Like they're gonna have a 30-room bunkhouse.
That's what I read that. I was like, that's insane. Like that's literally I mean, that's what people need though. I really do think that's kind of like what paintball needs in a sense. I joke with Mikey all the time because they have a horse barn out there and it's like it's kind of like storage. We use it to sleep in. Like we'll put the industrial tents out there and they'll put ACs in, like little portable AC units in it for us. So we can use the barn like as our bunks when we practice. And I joke all the time, like, just go ahead and finish this into 2 sides of apartments, throw some bunks in it, and then rent it out to pro teams and come out here and practice with us.
Oh, that's a great question.
You could stay on site in these type of places, and then it's like you're out there for the whole weekend. You're only focused on paintball. You could practice all day, But
that's a good question, though, Joey. Are the Jungle Cats going to be willing to travel, or are we hoping that the beauty of Prime will draw some other pro teams in?
We are willing to travel. I'm not saying that we're not willing to travel, but this year we didn't have secure funding all year to travel. Like we were out of pocket for most of the year. Like the only extra help that we truly had in a sense was doing well at the events and rolling over the entry fee money, the free entries. And, thankfully winning an event and, that helped out a lot. But it's like, and while we're here, Valken, I know they're not here right now, but Valken took care of us for 4 events. And that was a good part of it. But we didn't have the money to go places this year to go travel. So next year, I know we're going to have to travel, or we're going to have to try campaign way harder to bring teams down to Prime. Which if you're out there and you're interested in coming to Prime, it's the best place you could practice and will help out if you're a pro team. Like we won't be cheap. We just also don't want to go dive around on turf and get hurt all weekend.
Yeah. That's some of these comments. Okay. Anyway, but no, that's fantastic.
You see what the people want. I'm just saying.
The hard part, like I think for most of the high-level pro teams, is they want to play another high-level pro team. But we're one of those pro teams that we will kind of like we play a lot of different teams. I mean, we played Leverage last year. We played Arsenal. We you know what I mean? Like we played a lot of different teams last year. We didn't just play. In fact, we never practiced X Factor. We never practiced Impact. Those Dynasty, we never practiced Dynasty. Like we played a lot of different kind of middle and lower tier teams last year. We don't ever mind doing that. the hard part for us is like, we want to go somewhere where the event's going to be, and we want to stay right there the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is one thing that I've realized, and I mean, I think it would be cool if there was like a set schedule for the year so you could plan out those type of practices easier. But some of the pro teams, it seems like they want to go to that place before and they want to stay there for 10 days, you know, like they just want to grind out from layout practice to the end of the tournament, and then they want to go home. And
It's exactly what we do.
yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy because it works, but it's just like it's not something that we could do with our budget, you know, right now. So
No, I understand. My point is, though, like, it's really tough because the only teams that don't do that are X Factor, Impact, from the top, right? X Factor, Impact, and Damage, right? Damage doesn't ever leave their field. And then X Factor doesn't really leave their field, and Impact a lot of times either stays home and plays Dynasty or goes to X Factor.
And Fit.
So yeah,
Fit doesn't leave.
Fit stays where they are. So it's tough, man. Tauntauns now are gone. I hear rumors they're not really gone.
I hear they have a spot now.
I heard a pretty solid rumor today that Tauntauns have found a place to play, which is incredibly exciting, and that it may be an all-French roster, which would be super cool. Again, it's just total rumor. Ironman travel, Hurricanes barely travel, but now they may, right? Maybe. Uprising doesn't travel.
You think
Infamous
the Hurricanes
goes in,
travel
stays-
now after they spend all that money on a training facility?
That's why I said maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That'd be
Right?
hard.
Maybe.
But they only
Maybe.
traveled once in the past 5 years.
Yeah, not much at all. Shock is going to be that they'll travel. AC's gone. Leverage doesn't really travel. Sea Dogs don't travel. Aftermath doesn't travel. NYX will travel. So you're talking about like 4 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That will actually kind of travel around. Most of the teams just kind of stay where they are.
And there's no events near us, so no one's coming down to hang out for the week.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I might get in trouble for this, but at Nick Squeak says, as a player perspective, playing down doesn't help your skill level or abilities on sharpening your skills. And I
That's
would
not
argue
true.
against that.
What
I
does
don't
that mean?
believe
Playing
that.
down.
I think what he means is, so Joey's team plays their D2 team. So they're playing down a team that's a division down. And
Oh, no, yeah, I
and
totally
Nick, I'm just
disagree
gonna
Yeah.
I disagree with you on that 100% because
They help us a lot.
and there's a couple of different theories, and I'll just give you 2 quick ones. One is, okay, if this team is a lower division than you, okay, then you should recognize certain reads faster. You should process information faster than them. So when that team makes a mistake, you should see it immediately and capitalize on that. So it helps your processing speed so that when you, in the rare instance, you see another pro team do it, you capitalize. 2, another way you could look at it is this: you can hamstring yourself. You can sit there and I'll go give a team that, you know, I used to do this with the Canes. I'll go tell the team that we were playing, because we used to practice a lot of D4 and D3 teams. And I tell them, this is exactly what we're going to do. Now stop it. I tell them exactly what we're going to do. Now stop it. So, or there's so many different ways to look at it, right? Some different perspectives. Plus, those lower divisional teams are going to do things that a lot of pro teams won't, and they'll sting you. And you'll learn something from them, believe it or not. One of the best advice I ever got was from my friend Grayson Goff. He said, I go watch D5, D4 teams. I go watch those matches because you'll always learn something. And
that's what Bailey says all the
So,
time. Even if you're learning what not to do, you're going to learn something.
that's right. Even if you're learning what not to do. And that's a great point.
There's also not a team that's going to give you better data. Like you shot me here this high in this space. I was this far back or this far up. Like you're just not going to get a team that's going to give you better data. I think the old adage that used to be a thing where it was like, we want to go play as many teams as we can that are better than us. By the way, if you're a D4 team who can play a D3 team, do that. If you're a D3 team who can play a D2 team, do that. If you're a D2 team who gets to play a semi-pro team, do that. But that doesn't mean the semi-pro team that's playing you or the D2 team that's playing you down, it doesn't mean they're not also getting better, but you have to do your part to make sure that it goes well for them. You got to give them really good information. And that's what
we've talked about.
Paintball Fit has that. Yeah.
Yep. You and I have talked
There's
about
a
this,
comment
Ryan,
right
where
now that I see
you
right
gotta
here
have
that's
that
weird.
relationship. The coaches have to have that relationship where they go into the practice understanding what each is trying to get out of it. And if those two coaches have a good relationship and they want what's best for their teams, then it's going to be a productive practice.
It's exactly what Dusty Court says right here.
That's the one I was just looking at. That's weird though, because it's like you got to have a good relationship, and it's like you do, because both of y'all have to have an understanding of what you're trying to do. You're trying to help each other, and you're trying to build. You know, it's like our guys. We've been really hard on trying to enforce playing bounces both years, like at practices, because it's just unrealistic with paint. It's like we can get 5-star from the event that's old, or you can get cheap practice paint. It's like if you're getting bounced at practice at this level, it's like just go ahead and take it as it is. You got shot, start over, next point. And we've been really hard on ourselves about that. And our D2 guys have been really good at being the same way, and it's like they're really good at paintball. And it's like all of us have the same understanding that we're here to get better. So if you got bounced, get out, and it's like if we're playing a layout better than they are, or, it's like a little bit of a gap in it, then it's like, okay, y'all play it a little more open, and we're still going to try to be strict on ourselves about playing bounces, or, you can make it beneficial, pull a body, like as soon as the breakout starts, sometimes I'll just pull one of our guys, like, hey, get out, if we start going, if we shoot 2 bodies, it's like, hey, another guy, get out, start changing the situations up. You can, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You can make it beneficial. Like, unless you're like
you can always
semi-pro playing D5, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Joey, let's talk about next season. What is your expectation? What do you plan? What do you see happening with the team?
Oh, we're gonna get crushed, right? I told you in my pitch of you coaching us that if you come coach us, we're only playing Fridays and Saturdays. You'll have Sundays off. You could play 3-man. I'm talking to the World Cup 3-man champion right here. So Fridays and Saturdays only. Like, have you seen? You were just talking about the Tauntauns. Have you seen the size of Axel and Hugo? Like, we're not gonna be able to shoot those guys. They're gonna shoot us a lot.
All right,
this is the worst sales pitch ever.
Ryan, this is the humor I was talking about at the beginning of the show.
I
don't think he believes that for a moment.
I hope that I could. I hope Bianca comes and coaches us, and I could break that promise, and that he doesn't get to play 3-mans on Sundays. I don't think we'll be. I don't expect to be top 8 every event. We want to. Our goals.
Why not?
Like, our realistic goals. It's just not. We still have things that we need to learn. Like, I'm not saying that as we can't do it.
Ryan to do this.
No, I'm not saying we can't, because we can. We're missing. We do need organization. We do need a coach that can help. Right now, we don't have it. We are working in the right direction. Our overall goal would be great to place top 8 multiple times. We do want to make Sundays, but it's like our realistic goal for the year. If we finish the year in top 14, top 12, we touched a Sunday or 2. We touched 2 or 3 Sundays. I'd be really happy with that as a first-year pro team. It's like, I do think we're working in the right direction, and I do think we can win a lot of games. I don't think we're just going to get crushed by a lot of people, but I do know that it's going to be a lot harder than what we played this year. I know that we're going to have to be better. Sure. And we do have spots that we're weak in that we need to fix. There's little things that we have to be better at in order to be a Sunday team. I'm not. It's just realistic expectations on ourselves. Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, we're going to be, because our expectation in D2 and semi-pro was to make every Sunday. Like, we were just like, hey, if we're not making every Sunday, then we're doing something wrong. Like, all of us are old. All of us have played paintball for a long time. Like, if you can't get it together right now, we're doing something wrong, and now we need to realize, like, hey, we still have this expectation to make Sundays, but we're playing against the people who are also like, hey, we should be in every Sunday. These are the best players. They also know that they should be up here. It's like, by numbers, it's the top 200 players in the world, right?
Yeah. By the way, Joey K, there's it's actually goal 1 is win a point. Goal 2 is win 2 points back to back. Goal 3, win a match. Goal 4, don't get last. That's been my pitch for a while. So, and I think those are really good goals to have, Joey.
Have your whole team go back and watch the episode that we had Colt Lukow on, and every one of your guys should have Colt Lukow's mentality.
We have that
Hydra mentality of we are going to win every tournament we play. In my opinion, anything less than that is not enough. Like
that's what's held us up some too, though. That is like a thing.
Every player should have the attitude, we're going to win every fucking point. We're going to win every match. We're going to win every tournament we play. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Like I used to be on the same page with Mike about these micro goals. After now having gone back and listened to that episode probably 5 times, I literally realized like Mike can stick with it. I'm not gonna teach that way anymore. I'm going to train from a perspective of you want to fucking dominate your opponent. You want to be so belligerently good that you can walk onto any field that you play and be that dominant. And you have to believe it. Hey. Otherwise, it won't happen.
We've had that hiccup for real. Like, honestly, you could ask any of the guys. Like, even last year, like some of the guys that didn't roll over from last year, it's like, I feel like people don't know how to win. And it's like, that is part of knowing how to win. Like totally. You have to believe that you are going to win, that you are a team that can win every event, every point. And it's like, we do believe that. That's what I mean. It's not, that is my sense of humor. I know that losing is a thing, but it's like, I also expect to win a lot. Like, I think some teams are going to look at us and be like, damn, we didn't think that team would come out of semi-pro. Like,
well, and I'll tell you, they shouldn't, because you're second place, you won one tournament, you got another second, you got a 5th, right?
To touch on something that Rich said, it was
hang on. That's the data, right?
Yeah.
That's the data. Yeah. So there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to say, hey, you know, these guys came into the league and they won one tournament, right? Yeah, but that can't be the way you guys believe, right?
What was Rich's episode last week? Okay, so he said something on the show last week that really got under my skin. 2 weeks ago. It was 2. He said those guys need to learn how to win. And it's like, go look at our events. Like, we might have lost one match every event until World Cup this year when we lost 2 matches. It's like, we did a lot of winning. Like, a lot of winning. It's just like, sometimes some people made the adjustments better than we did once an event. Like, we do know how to win. It's like, now, like we said, getting better at some of the little things, getting better at the end. Like, some of our guys have never made it to Sunday. Some of our guys had never won events. Like, seriously, like some of our guys had never won events until these years. Yeah, it's like some of us look at it where it's like, I played D4 events when I was, D2. Like, I've won some events. I shouldn't have won, but it's like, if you can win, I tell a lot of people this now, if you can win a local event, that's a one-day event, then you're in a lot better place going into NXLs than most people are, because you really put your body through the ringer at a one-day event, and you learn what it takes to win when you play 8 matches in a day. When you play 7 matches, you play 60 points in one day instead of 60 points across 3 days. Like, you got to learn how to win at the divisional level at a local event, and then you go to the NXLs and you're like, oh, I could spread this out across 3 days, lighten my workload a little bit. 100% every day, balls to the wall every point.
Right.
I'm going to flip the script a little bit, though. And I do not think that my approach and yours, Ryan, the Colt Lukow, is mutually exclusive. I think they work together. I really do. I think they do.
They absolutely
because
do.
If I win that first point, it's that faith and belief. Yeah. And when I win that, you see what I'm saying? So I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they're the same thing. So.
But I feel like in the past we've had young coaches on here, and sometimes we've told them, like, have reasonable expectations, right?
Right.
Have reasonable expectations. I don't believe mine are reasonable anymore. Like, they're not. Like, I expect now that we should win every tournament, right? Because I believe that's what my mentality and expectation has to be. with the amount of training we do, the amount of effort that we put in, the amount of money we spend, the expectation should be to win every tournament.
Now
right?
that
You're
I
right.
agree with 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
That's how you gotta
with
feel for real. Like,
yeah,
Totally.
and you do need to, but Ryan, yeah, you do need to feel that way with what you're bringing to the table, what the Legion is bringing to the table. I think having realistic expectations and recognizing, Joey, that you're going to learn a lot this season doesn't mean losing. Okay.
Mhm.
What I'm getting at is you're going to learn a lot this season. And as long as you take those lessons, right, with the appropriate mindset and recognize I'm still here. I'm still coming. You just made me smarter. Right.
Yeah.
So having that attitude of I'm going to get you, right. It's coming because I'm not going to stop. And that's, Bruce Lee talked about that. What's defeat? The only time you defeat somebody is when that person themselves accepts, okay, I'm defeated. But if you never accept it, then you're not beat. So let's go.
Right. And you're coming into the league in a fucking great time.
Yes.
I was gonna ask y'all how y'all. So we were talking about the teams coming back in. So how does this play out? Some of these teams that bought in, or some of these teams that come back in, like, does Distortion end up in Diesel's seed?
Yes. No. Well, unless I don't believe there was a buy sell there. So in a buy sell, the new owner gets this placing.
So Collision gets the 6th seed.
So Collision gets the 6th seed, right? However,
for us.
in a drop ad, the ad team would be 20th. You guys would be 19th.
So the NRG, and then what about if the Tauntauns end up getting another spot? Where do they fall?
Let's just go down the list. So Tauntauns, that spot is now LA Collision.
That's
Okay.
6 seed.
Houston Heat, completely rebuilt team with the exception of 3 guys. Seattle Uprising, they're going to be better out of no addition or subtraction. They'll be better.
Yeah.
Because they looked damn good at World Cup. Dynasty got better. Hurricanes, question mark. We don't know. I think Fedorov makes them better right away.
Right.
Stu stepping aside, I think is hurtful, but I think adding Fedorov, who's a great attacker, they need more attack. I think he helps. Baltimore Arsenal, completely rebuilt, or could potentially be a bunch of French guys. We'll see. Iron Men will be the same, but may get better because they're making no changes.
They might pick up. I hear they might be picking some people up.
Okay. Infamous made one change.
Mr. Shaw.
Yep. Aftershock. He's good. Yeah.
Man, he shot the crap out of us at CFOA this weekend. It wasn't cool.
Yeah, Danny's a good player.
He shot like 4 out of our 5 pro guys that were playing CFOA, and just
I heard all the kids just beat the hell out of everybody though.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah,
they didn't. I won't say they beat the hell out of everybody. Like,
they won the tournament.
They beat us, and they played really well.
They won the tournament.
No, they played good, but it's like, I mean, those CFOA games are a grinder, especially on that hyperball field. Like, the kids played really good though.
Yeah, I talked to
shoot all those little fast kids, man. They're running around everywhere,
and they're built like straws.
Yeah,
right.
Come on.
Yeah, they turn sideways. They're invisible.
No, yeah, they play
so
good.
Aftershock could be completely different. AC Diesel gone. Leverage is leverage. So I don't know what changes they'll make. Sea Dogs, Aftermath has to make some changes. New York Extreme probably will make some changes. But
they just lost 2 players.
Yep. But they'll probably have to add
picking
some
up
people,
players,
right? Yeah, like I know Sean's not there anymore. And then you got you guys and then Distortion, right? So you're coming into the league where the middle of the pack is pretty messy right now.
I agree.
Pretty messy. So it's kind of a good time to kind of be coming in. A lot of teams that'll have some cohesion things going on.
Yeah. I was just, and especially depending on how the seeding plays out, because if it's the tier system and some of these teams like Collision or some of these teams that bought in end up higher than us, then it's like I'm perfectly okay with playing teams that came out of semi-pro again and not some of these other teams throughout the year. Like,
Well, you are to be
so
commended. You guys did win the spot. You won the spot. You grinded and won the
Someone
spot.
called me out this weekend or like came to me about some things where I was talking. I've commented on it. I don't think the spots should have been passed down the way they did, but I do think Collision and Distortion being 2 and 3 should have got the spots by right of order. You know, I wasn't in any way ever saying that that's how it should go. But if the league's trying to promote longevity amongst teams, then there's got to be a better system in place. It's like
then what?
Distortion
So
fell apart
you were
this year. Distortion fell apart last year. Distortion fell apart the year before. It's like get a team that has shown they're going to be around for a while in that spot.
You can't do that though. Like they would get sued immediately.
Force Wrecking Crew up. Force
They would
one
get
of these
sued
teams that
immediately.
stuck
Force
around.
Wrecking
You know,
Crew
it's
up.
like
Yeah.
I just don't think it's like
have to want to be there, right?
y'all talked about
And
midway
I-
through the year that team was in second place and points behind us, and they were going to split teams and throw the points out the window. Like, and now it's like, okay, they're going to do good in pro. I saw people congratulating them, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, they bought this pro spot, you know, like they were going to throw away the whole seeding points in the middle of the year because they didn't get along with each other. Now they're going to work it out. Like, some of these teams are going to be a shit show.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
mean,
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I want to be clear
Yeah.
that in my opinion, whether you buy in or you get promoted, you should go to the bottom.
Yeah. That was one
Middle
of the things
bottom.
that upset me too, is because it's like when you say that these teams are going to get bypassed in the seeding, it's like I feel like we should get pushed up to the highest available seeding, and the teams that come in after us fill in the rest of the spots in that order, because that's how
Yeah,
it
you
goes,
guys
that's
should
right?
logical.
be, it should be you guys should be 18, 19, 20, right? It
Yeah.
should be you guys,
Right,
LA
agreed.
Collision and Wildside 18, 19, 20. But
Right.
unfortunately, that's when you sell a spot, it comes with the placing.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
it's messy.
Oh my gosh.
It's messy.
No, I think it'll be cool though. I think there's a lot of teams that are really beatable. That's why I say I don't think there's teams that are going to give us good runs for it, but I think there's a lot of teams that will give a good run too. You know, like I don't think the division looks as good as everyone. Even like we talked about semi-pro last year, the divisions are kind of like spread out. Like no matter how you look at it, players are all over the place. The top pro teams are stacked. The next 12 pro teams are just in the wind, you know?
Yeah.
That's an excellent. I mean,
not
it's
good.
true. I mean, it's not good, but it is what it is. And Ryan's statement still stands, obviously, that it's a good time for your team to be coming in and making a run. And I think you are going to surprise some people. I think, especially with the attitude you've shown this evening and the thought processes, sounds like you guys are ready to go. And it should be exciting to see. It's going to be fun to watch.
I think we're excited for it. Like I said, my sense of humor and my personality is like, I'm ready to take some bumps and bruises. Like I'm not expecting to come in here and just dominate pro like we dominated, or we didn't dominate because we didn't win every event. So I won't even say that word, but be as consistent and in the top as we've been. But I do expect our team to do very well this year. Like I don't think we'll be a bottom of the pack team by any means.
When you get a coach in place, I'm sure they will explain to you how important the first event is.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
If
When
I
you
were, if I were the,
get, when you get
That
a
coach-
really mindful, very intelligent coach in place, I'm sure
Oh.
he will tell you how important that first event is.
he's
One
going to,
that's been in the league and knows a thing or two. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to lock in a coach so we can, draw in some more sponsors. We got the tryouts coming up. I think if people see that we got established leadership, experienced leadership, that it's really going to draw in some extra help. So
I think
we'll
it would
see.
really help for sure.
Hopefully we'll iron that out sometime the next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
make
I got a
some
pen.
calls.
Do you guys need a pen?
I need a fax machine apparently. I need to get management on the phone. Fax
My
some
neighbor
paperwork over.
literally has carrier pigeons. I
Okay.
can probably get a couple of those to fly somewhere and then, deliver. They literally put it on their
To see the
God,
coach
that-
I want, I think that's kind of the thing that he'd like too, like that old school carrier pigeon, like
that's what I'm
Civil
saying.
War era
Yeah,
communication.
they put it like a little letter inside of a rolled up piece of
People
cardboard.
still do that for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Get a guy who likes ball caps.
Oh yeah.
Ball caps. Those are always good coaches. Yeah.
I'll write that down on my notepad really quick.
Joey, you want to leave our audience with anything, buddy?
Yes.
Let me give a shout out
Yes.
to our sponsors before we leave.
Yeah.
I got to find this because I wrote it down this time. I lost it last time. All right. So, Carbon has been the greatest sponsor. We'll start off with that. They saw us at the beginning of the year. We didn't do a good jersey design. They were already one of our sponsors. They reached out and they were like, hey, we want to give y'all better jerseys for the year. They gave us awesome jerseys. They gave us best protective gear. They've been super cool with us as the year ended and, working on going into next year. So shout out to Carbon. Bear Ridge Paintball, like I said, we're not BR Factory anymore, but Bear Ridge was a huge part of this and still is a great sponsor. We still love them. Augusta Paintball, Prime Paintball, N3 Meals. We had meal preps. We talked about it on the other show. One of our buddies, he's local to the field. He plays the NGXL. He sent us meal preps, like healthy meals to every event. 30 meals. All of us had 3 meals apiece. It at least got us through, the first 2 days of the events for when we're coming back, have something to eat. We don't have to leave the house. We don't have to go out and spend a ton of money. It was huge. It was very helpful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Now
Yeah.
that's a sponsor.
It was great. Like, I really think, actually, Christina from Primes brought this up before. We had talked about it going last year. Like, we need to just find meal prep companies in the towns. So it's like for teams that are traveling, just an idea, go ahead and look on Instagram or look in the areas for a meal prep company that could prep meals for you before you get there. And then they'll just be ready when you get to the tournaments for pickup and, save yourself a fortune because you go out to eat, you're spending, $200-$300 a night when you could spend that for a week's worth of meal preps for people. And it's healthy food because I know when we go out of town, when you're having to look for options, you're eating junk food a lot or you're eating, fast food or just like chain restaurants, and it's just not good food for you. So just something to think about because that was a huge part of the year.
That's awesome.
I-75 Paintball. If you're buying used paintball gear, I-75 Paintball. It's great. Ward's Dog Spa. This year we're picking up a new sponsor. It's Ren's Collision. It's a car collision center. They're going to come in and help out going in. That's not one of our sponsors from last year, but new sponsor we're getting. Who we had Ballsack, the pod filling company. Ballsack was great. They're local to us. He kind of reached out, said he wanted to help out. So that was huge. Am I missing anybody? Too Dope Media. Our buddy Connor, he traveled. He played with our Bear Ridge D4 team and took pictures of us when they weren't playing so that we had some stuff to create, our Instagram and get some social media presence this year. So shout out to Connor. Too Dope Media, if you aren't following him, give him a follow. He does a lot of collabs with us and helps us grow the Jungle Cats back. Sacred Vibes, Blaine's Headband Company. He supplies most of us with headbands. He has headbands for sale for everybody if you're looking for it. That's really everybody, I think, for right now. Like I said, I do want to give another shout out to Valken because they were so cool to us all year. And ProShar. Last year, we had to shoot ProShar at Cup. We shot Valken. Valken ran out. We had to shoot ProShar at Cup. This year, Valken died. And ProShar comes in, helps us out at Cup, gives us great paint to shoot. So shout out to ProShar again. You really make a lot of friends in the industry because I met some random people throughout the time and they came to help out. Met the ProShar paint guys and they've literally taken care of us every time we've asked. Falcon was awesome. So that's really everything. I'll say thank you to you again because you helped us throughout these last 2 years more than we could ever have asked for. Anytime we went up to Prime and we'd be like, hey, are you home this weekend? Whether you had something going on, whether it was a birthday or a family gathering, you at least spared a couple hours for us. And I think it helped us leaps and bounds. And, that was really it.
It's my pleasure.
That's a lot of sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in.
Well, congratulations to you and your group for a pretty fantastic 2025 season. We're really, really looking forward to seeing what you guys can bring in 2026. I think you guys are a great addition to the league, top to bottom, very well formed. Again, I watched all your matches on the pro field today. You guys are a great team. You guys have a few standout guys and moments, but you're a great team. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch you guys play. You remind me a lot of the Hurricanes when they were kind of coming out. There weren't a lot of guys on that team that you could watch and be like, that's the standout guy. Obviously, now that they've been on the pro field, we know, Drew Bell's real dangerous. you got to know where that guy is all the time. But you guys are a really good team, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch you guys next year. So big thank you to you, Joey, for joining us tonight, giving us your time. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on episode 96 of the Coaches Show. Thank you to Major League Paintball, Major League Paintball Plus, Tom Cole, Kevin Fillers, and Darren Cessna. Next week, WNXL show with Anthony Vitale and Jen Folk. I'm Ryan Gray with Mike Bianca and Joey Dipolito. Be responsible.